You're listening to the REI Marketing Nerds Podcast, the leading resource for real estate investors who want to dominate their market online. Dan Barrett is the founder of AdWords Nerds, a high-tech digital agency focusing exclusively on helping real estate investors like you get more leads and deals online, outsmart your competition, and live a freer, more awesome life. And now, your host, Dan Barrett.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the REI Marketing Nerds Podcast. As always, this is Daniel Barrett here from AdWordsNerds.com. How are you? Wonderful people, wonderful real estate investors. Hope you are having an awesome week. And today, I want to get back to some technical, tactical stuff. I feel like the last couple episodes have been these kind of like big, overarching ideas. And I want to dig into something that is really applicable to you right now and give you some takeaways that you can take from this podcast, go back to your business and improve your lead flow. And today we are talking about websites, and specifically, I'm going to break down what needs to be on the perfect real estate investor homepage. All right. So we're talking about websites. And really, the most important piece of real estate, you get it? Real estate on your website is going to be your homepage. Now, homepage is just kind of by design or by the way that things work. They're generally going to get the most traffic of any page on your website. They're going to be the most read. The homepage is your opportunity to make a really good impression and convert any website visitor into a lead. So they're really critical. And if you're going to spend any time on your website, you're probably going to get the most leverage from that time by spending it on your homepage. Now, all the other parts of your website are still really important, especially if you're doing any kind of search engine optimization. Like our search engine optimization team at AdWords Nerds has spent a lot of time analyzing traffic to other pages. And they found, a lot of people are going to consume multiple pages of your website. But the fact remains that I think a lot of investors, if you're doing this on your own, generally you're not going to have a ton of time, or you're not going to be able to spend a ton of time on this. And if you're really like, hey, look, give me one thing I can do, the thing I'm going to say is improve your homepage. That's going to improve your search engine rankings. It's also going to improve your conversion rate, which is the percentage of people that become leads once they land on the website. So this is a really powerful kind of area to focus on. So let's talk about what you need. Before we jump into the specific stuff about the actual page, the thing I want to recommend to you is that you go and install two pieces of software. They are free. You can install them on any website. You can do this if you got Investor Carrot or WordPress or Lead Propeller or anything that you're using. And that is Google Analytics and Google Search Console, or sometimes called Google Webmaster Tools. Now, both of these are free pieces of software that are put out by Google, and they provide you a lot of really valuable data. Google Analytics, which you can get at analytics.google.com, or just by Googling Google Analytics, probably, right? This is a piece of software that's going to track people who come onto your website and show you how they behave. It's going to tell you how many visitors you had, how long they spent on the website, how long they spent on every page, what page they went to, all sorts of really important things. Google Analytics is going to give you a ton of data about how people act and the amount of traffic that you're getting. And if you come to, like, for example, work with any online marketing company, like if you came to us, and you are saying, hey, I want to do search engine optimization, it is really valuable to us if you have Google Analytics data going on your website. And it can only start tracking the data from the time that you install it. So the sooner that you do that, the better it's going to be. Go ahead, go to analytics.google.com. It's just you sign up for an account, you get a little piece of code, paste it in your website. Support for any website company that you're working with will be able to help you do this. It's really critical. Now, Google Search Console or Google Webmaster Tools, depending on what they're calling it, is a little bit different, similar but different, I would say. Google Search Console doesn't really tell you a whole lot about how people act on your website. Instead, it gives you two really valuable pieces of data. One is it kind of scans your website and tells you if you have any problems. So it says like, if it just says like, hey, just so you know, like a bunch of your pages, Google can't read them, or, you got pages that Google doesn't know about, Google Search Console will tell you that. So it's really useful for that. And then it also gives you search ranking data. It gives you data on what people are searching for when Google ranks your site, where on average you are ranked for that search term. It gives you, a sense of how many people clicked at that position. So if you're like third in the search rankings, how many people clicked, what's your click-through rate, what we call that number. Really, really valuable stuff just for getting a sense of where you're ranking and how you're doing. Now, like any ranking tool, it's not perfect and it doesn't give you all the data that you need. And there's really no such thing as a rank for a keyword anymore. Everybody's bouncing around every single time there's a search based on hundreds of factors. But it does give you a sense, sort of a trend of how you're doing and how it's working. And so it's really valuable to get that installed as well. So first things first, perfect real estate investor homepage is going to have Google Webmaster Tools or Google Search Console, whatever they call it, and Google Analytics installed. So that's step number one. Now, let's get into the kind of next thing I want to talk about, which is the perfect REI homepage is fast. Okay. Now, this is, again, we're not even getting to like the parts that the user, the motivated seller actually sees. This is kind of all behind the scenes. But the faster your page loads, the better it's going to be. First of all, Google is going to rank you better if your site load speed is better. And that's really, really valuable. And then two, obviously, if people have to wait for a page to load, if you ever like go to a website and you click on it and it takes time to load up, the chance that it just bounce away is relatively high. Like people are very impatient. I'm definitely like this. If you make me wait for like more than 10 seconds for a website, I'm never going to see it. I'm just going to go back to Google and find something else. So it's really, really valuable that you get a site that's going to load very quickly. If you're having problems with your website, you may want to talk to your website support, or maybe want to look at, if you're using like a WordPress theme, a theme that's going to be faster, a little less demanding. If you've got a lot of scripts and stuff, JavaScript, all this kind of stuff that's running in the back end, getting rid of that is going to help you speed up. There's a lot that goes into that. It's a relatively technical process. So you may want to go to somewhere like upwork.com. So upwork.com and find somebody, just search for somebody that can help you optimize your site speed. There are also services like Cloudflare, which are caching services that basically like serve a faster faster version of your website, depending on where the people are that are searching for you. So that's a service you can look up as well. I would definitely like get a professional to help you if you think you have serious site speed issues. And like, in fact, if you go on Google and you just type in like, page speed check or website load speed check or something like that, there's a bunch of free websites that will check your website for you. So I would just go check that out. And if you think you're running into problems, hire a professional. Okay. So those are the first two. We got the, installing all our analytics tools, and then we've got checking our site speed. Now, next thing that is really critical that is surprisingly on very few real estate investor websites, it's a prominent phone number. And this is something that it's very easy to overlook if you kind of put your phone number somewhere on the site and you're like, cool, it's on there. No, it really needs to be prominent. I would put it in the top right-hand corner and I would make it very obvious, very bold, big. Make it big. You want to think about motivated sellers. A lot of times they're older folks. They have trouble reading small text. And we're really designing a site here to make it easy for them to contact us. So you want a really big phone number. Now, a way you can make this even better is there's a code you can use on your website to make this a click-to-call number. I was on a restaurant website recently and, it was on my phone. Like a lot of people are going to be looking at your website on their phones. And so I'm on my phone and I'm trying to call this restaurant so I can place an order. And I'm on their website. I see their phone number. I go to click the, tap on the phone number to call, and it just doesn't do anything. And it really struck me that it's been a while since I saw someone not use this tool, this click to call tool. It's really, really critical because a lot of people are just going to want to tap that number and call you. Now, if you make them have to, use their finger to like hold it down and select the text, and they got to copy the text, and then they got to click the phone app, and then they got to open the phone app, and they got to paste the number into the phone app, like you're making it harder for them. And just as a general principle, right, we want to make it as easy as humanly possible for people to contact us. So big, prominent, bold phone number, upper right-hand corner, and make it a click to call number. Now, on to the next one, which is the form. Every website for a real estate investor needs a really prominent lead form. And there are different kind of philosophies of this, different ways to do this. There's no one right way to do this, but there are general principles that you can make sure that you are following. One, you got to make that form very prominent, very obvious, and you got to make it visible before they scroll. If I have to scroll down your homepage to see your form, you are going to lose leads. I'm telling you, you're going to leave money on the table. It's got to be big, upfront, and obvious. Now, my general preference here is that we have this as few form fields as possible, by which I mean I might have name, email, and phone number. That's it. I might just have name and email, or just phone number and email, but I don't want much more than that. Now, some websites, some people, they want to put the address. I think that's probably okay. But as a general principle, the more form fields that we give someone up front, the fewer people are going to fill it out. Okay. Now, you still want property information. Obviously, you still want, all that stuff. I would do that on a next page, like when they fill out that form, send them to another form where you can get that in-depth information. But the reason we want to make sure we grab that information up front, the email and the phone number, is because that's what lets me market to them going forward. I can text them, I can call them, I can email them. I've got all these opportunities, all these options, right? If I don't get that, if I make them fill out the full form before I get that information, I'm going to lose the ability to follow up with people that would have become deals down the line. So I really am a fan of keeping this to the absolute minimum number of form fields that you need in order to effectively contact someone. First name, email, phone, that's generally what we're going to require at AdWords Nerds, but, play around with different things. I would even just say, enter your phone number and then pass them to the next one, right? Because I can call them then, right? So there's a lot of things to experiment with there. No one right way to do it, but I definitely think keep it prominent. Make sure that your form is a different color than the background of the website. I was on a website recently. This was with a coaching student of mine. And I was, going over their website and giving them some tips. And one of the things I noticed was that they had a form and it was big and it was prominent, but the form was white form fields, like they normally are, right? If you think about a form, usually it's a white area where you type in your text, right? So that was white. And then the background was white. So it was really hard to see where the actual form is. So like, let's say your background is a picture and you've got a picture of a house or whatever, put a box around the form that's white or black or red or something so that it stands out and I immediately know there's a form there that I'm looking at. Okay. So just some tips there. So we've got the form, right? Let's talk about the headline. All right. So headline is going to be the biggest text on the web page generally. And it's also important for search engine optimization reasons. Google's going to look at the headline as a good indicator of what this page is going to be about. I usually keep this as simple as humanly possible. I just say like, I buy houses in blank area. Sell your home quickly in blank area. You want to keep it straight to the point. We want to speak directly to the motivated seller and say, hey, you want to sell your house. You're motivated to sell your house. You want to do that quickly. I can help you do that. And by the way, I am in your area. Now, generally, the more specific we can make that area, the better, right? It's more compelling if I'm on like 123 Main Street in Anywhere Town, USA. It's more compelling for me to look at a website that says, I buy houses on Main Street in Anywhere Town, right? More than it is going to be like, well, I buy houses in the United States. So the more specific we can get it, the better. Obviously, you don't want to leave people out. So this is going to depend on where you invest and what your investing area looks like. But I would try to keep it as specific as humanly possible. Generally, I am a fan of zeroing in on the smallest viable area that I can invest in or market in order to make this work. But, do what's right for your market. Think about how people talk about the market, the language that they use, and then use that. So they immediately see that headline and they're like, oh, right, they work with me. Okay.
Are you an investor who wants to dominate your local market? Do you want more leads and deals online? Then download your copy of the Motivated Seller Blueprint absolutely free at www.adwordsnerds.com/gift. What are you waiting for? Go to www.adwordsnerds.com/gift right now to get your copy of the Motivated Seller Blueprint.
Now, let's talk about the amount of text to have on a homepage. There are generally two styles of homepages out there for real estate investors right now. There's kind of the carrot style, the traditional investor carrot style website, which has a lot of copy, a lot of text, right? Not a ton of images. It doesn't look very fancy. It's primarily copy. And then you've got kind of like more modern, if you want to call it that style of websites. I'm thinking about express home buyers who are, real estate investors. They're out, I think they're in Maryland or DC or whatever, but they do a really good job with their online marketing. And expresshomebuyers.com is their website. You can go check it out. And, I've met Brad, who runs that company. He's a really nice guy. So you definitely go check them out. They're a great company to model. And they've got kind of like, it's more images, it's less copy, there are videos, there's a lot of colors, etc. Right? And you've generally got these two diverging types of website. Now, is one better than the other? No, not necessarily. They have strengths and they have weaknesses. Okay. So the carrot style site, for example, the strength is that the copy gives you a lot of opportunity to have SEO keywords in there. The copy is going to be good for Google in the sense that it's going to tell Google what the site is about. And if you've got the kind of seller that wants to just read or really dig in, feel like they're doing some research, that's going to help them, right? Text-based sites too, sites that are heavier on the copy rather than the images, they tend to load faster. And we already talked about page load speed as being a good thing, right? I also just tend to think that people tend to spend more time on websites that look like this. And generally, with the SEO department here at AdWords Nerds, we've found the amount of time that people spend on a website to be a good predictor of how that website's going to rank. Okay. Now, the express home buyers kind of approach where it's more, modern looking, more graphic design oriented. I think that is good in the sense that you can really put a lot of videos there. I think videos are really good for engagement. I think you can design it well so that people are more likely to, spend some time on that site. But I think there's more complications there as well. So it's not really that one is better than the other. We've used both types of approach here at AdWords Nerds, and I think they can both work really well. I just think for most investors, simpler is better because they're not going to do the work to really test all the different graphical variations and yada, yada, yada that you generally are going to need for kind of like a more modern graphic design oriented site. So not a hard and fast rule there, but I would just say know yourself and know your business. If you think like, hey, my market's really simple, I just want to keep it straight and to the point, don't want to mess around with website stuff, maybe go for a text-based site. If you want something that's going to be, it's going to stand out more, something that's going to position you brand-wise as sort of a bigger company, and you're willing to put in the time and effort, because I can pretty much guarantee that Express Home Buyers puts a lot of time and resources into their website, then you might want to go that route. But just know if that's you or not, right? Now, there are a couple of things that I would definitely have on any website that you're doing. I think any homepage that you're going to do is going to need social proof and authority signals. Now, these are really, really critical for a couple different reasons. One, social proof and authority signals drive your conversion rates up. This is what's going to ensure that the highest percentage of motivated sellers actually contact you. So they're really, really powerful. But you can also use them as ranking signals. So I think as far as ranking your website better in Google goes, I think it can be a powerful tool as well. So let's break these down. Social proof. Okay. Testimonials are incredibly powerful. Testimonials, people read them, people look at them, people watch them as videos, and they do a really, really good job of convincing people. I think you've probably had this experience. I know I have, where you're looking for something on Amazon or something, and all you just look is like, what's the average review? Like, how many reviews does it have and what's the score, right? Something's got 1,000 reviews and it's got a 4.5 review score. I'm like, awesome. I'm just going to buy it. I'm not even going to think about it, right? A lot of the time that's the case. We are just all, as humans, kind of wired to look to other people and say like, well, did other people have success here? And use that as a shortcut to deciding, how successful am I going to be? So if you're not getting testimonials repeatedly and systematically in your investing business, you really need to do that. But what you really need to do is use them on your website and use them prominently. Don't hide them over like just on the side in a little sidebar widget or whatever it is. Put them everywhere. Put them in your main copy. Put images, put videos, put testimonials on every single page in prominent places. This is one of the most powerful things you can do to drive up your conversion rate and get more people to contact you. I've also noticed that they're like sort of like not quite testimonials, but other kind of social proof kind of things you can do. You can show how many people like you on Facebook. You can show, say like, hey, we've worked with like 500 homes in this area or whatever. Just kind of indicate that you've been around. Lots of people have worked with you. Lots of people have had success. Lots of people are happy. That's the message that you want to give. Now, authority signals are similar, but they're a little bit different. Authority signals indicate to the motivated seller like, hey, I am legit. This is a real business. I am a real thing, right? Because I think all investors face this kind of stereotype that investing is a scam, that you're a shyster, you're going to steal people's houses, you rip off old ladies, whatever you want to say. That's what people think. That's the thing you got to get around. You got to get past. And authority signals can do that. So what's an authority signal? Well, Better Business Bureau, right? Saying we've got an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not a huge fan of the Better Business Bureau in general. I don't think signing up for the Better Business Bureau is going to get you leads from the Better Business Bureau, right? I really don't think that's going to be the case a lot of the time, at least not in this industry. But having that badge is really valuable. Saying like, we've been audited. People have looked at our business. We've got an A+ rating. I put that everywhere. I think that's really, really valuable. All right. So worth it. I think worth the money to do just that. Chamber of Commerce is a very similar thing. Chamber of Commerce, probably not a great source of motivated seller leads for you. I'm sure it differs from area to area, but generally there's not going to be a big channel where you're going to get deals. But saying, I am an official member of the Chamber of Commerce, putting that prominently on the website, this is generally what I put on the sidebar of the homepages that we work on. Very, very powerful. Saying, again, I'm a legitimate business owner. I'm part of this local business community. You can trust me, right? If I'm a part of a RIA or a client's a part of a RIA or a local real estate investor organization, I put that there too. Now, the average motivated seller might not really understand what a RIA is, but they're going to see this as authoritative. They're going to see like, oh, okay, they're a part of this local organization of real estate professionals. Cool. It provides authority, and authority puts people at ease. And when people are at ease and they're not feeling anxious, they are more likely to fill out the form. Okay. So really, really critical. And the other thing that I think that almost every investor misses, the thing that most real estate investor websites do not have, that is absolutely critical: human faces, real pictures of actual people. Think about the average real estate investor website. If you go on this website, it's like, we are, like Hamden home buyers. We buy homes in Hamden, blah, 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 blah. And they got the stock photo of the people with the sold sign outside the house. And it's a bunch of stuff. And it says like our team and us and like whatever. And like, who are you? Like literally, who are you? What's your name? If I call you, who am I going to get? What do you look like? Are you real? This is what's going through the mind of the average motivated seller. I think investors are kind of like scared to put their own photos on their website. But I'm telling you, if you can do this, it's incredibly powerful. I built for a coaching program that I ran, I built kind of like a fictional real estate investor website called Barrett Home Buyers. It's not up anymore, but it was up for a long time. And I put pictures of me all over it. I put pictures of me from my wedding, me and my wife. I'm like, here are my dogs, because I'm humanizing myself, right? Like I'm saying, I'm a local person, a real person that's going to come. You're going to call, you're going to get me, or you're going to get someone on my team. And here's who's on my team. I've got Janet, I've got Rick, I've got whatever, right? Because people want to know who you are before they contact you. And nothing is more powerful than advertising, marketing, doesn't matter. Nothing is more powerful than the human face, a smiling human face, looking out, making eye contact, having a sense that there's someone real on the other end of that transaction. It's incredibly powerful. So if I could only give you one tip, I mean, it would be to have a prominent form. But if I could give you 2 tips, it would be to humanize your website. Humanize it. Have a personality. Put pictures of yourself. Tell people why you do this. The story of, I was working in an office and I was miserable and I just needed to do something to provide for myself and my family. And so what I started to do was reach out to people in my local community and see if I could help them with their real estate issues. And now I do it full time. That's an incredibly powerful story. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. It doesn't need to be anything wild. It just needs to be real. It needs to be true. It needs to be something that can connect. And if you can do that, man, that is going to drive the effectiveness of your website way up. If you just implement some of these tips on your homepage, I'm telling you, you are going to crush it and you're going to thank me later. And in fact, if you want to thank me later, hey, if you like this episode, you can go leave a like, a comment, a review, a subscription, whatever you want on your podcast channel of choice. I would really appreciate it. It helps other people find the show and it helps me a lot. And I would love you for it. So just Google around for the REI Marketing Nerds podcast or open us up in your podcasting app and leave us a review or a like or a subscription. We'd really appreciate it. And hey, if you are looking for more content from AdWords Nerds and from me, I am every single day of the week. I'm in the REI Marketing Nerds Facebook group. That's adwordsnerds.com/group. It's totally free. We post tons of trainings in there. There's a lot of other awesome real estate investors sharing tips, tricks, and tactics for getting more motivated seller leads in there. It is the best Facebook group on Facebook, I'm telling you. And there's no spam, no deal spam, nothing. I delete all that stuff right away. So jump in there if you want some awesome content. I would love to see you. And I hope you are having an awesome week. Have a great rest of your week. And I'll talk to you soon. Daniel Barrett signing off. Cheers.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.